what I want to talk about today. No, let's start that over.
Can we just have a little conversation, okay? Because first of all, I was having so many complications. I started my computer thinking that it was going to I would be able to make a video today, but my computer was like, no, you thought you were going to make a video. I actually went to freaking update and work on updates 3 times, and you're gonna have to waste 20 minutes of your life getting through that. So
I'm a little thrown off today, and I apologize for that. But I want to come here and talk about freeforming and semi-freeforming. Because I got a comment from Dez, and I'm sub to him. He's a freeformer, and he makes pretty good videos. He's very down to earth, and he left a very nice comment on my last video, and he said basically that even if I separate my hair, I'm freeforming still. So here's the thing, when I first started my first set of locks, and I was doing some research about how I wanted my locks to be, I had found Lauren Jackson, and she is a semi-freeformer, and what she does is she washes her hair, but she doesn't separate her locks. So I thought that was what semi-freeforming was, and I know that there's a lot of definitions out there about freeforming and semi-freeforming and having locks and all of this and all of that, and how often do you retwist, or do you separate or do you not separate, and how does that work into your journey spiritually, or just even if you're not spiritual about your locks. So I wanted to bring up that there's a lot of definitions out there. There's a lot of miscommunication, I think, when it comes to the lock community, because I see some people who maybe retwist every month or so, and they call themselves semi-freeformers. And I'm not a haughty type, someone who thinks they're above all and knows all and judges people by what they label themselves. I'm not that type of person. But I feel like it would be much more simple if there was some kind of straight up definition of what semi-freeforming is and what freeforming is, because some people's locks are very personal to them. Maybe they have something to do with their religion or their spirituality, and when someone is labeling themselves as a freeformer and they're not doing the exact thing that freeformers think they should do, then it's become a war, or sort of like, oh, you're just a poser, and you just want to call yourself freeform when you're not really freeform. And besides like that, the community, the law community on YouTube in particular, is very nice about everyone and accepting everyone. But when it comes to these definitions, suddenly it's a little hostile. For example, when Taryn Guy started her lock journey, she went to freeform, and she did some things with her locks that a lot of people did not approve of. I mean, first of all, she already had the whole natural hair community coming after her because she decided to lock her hair, and now she has people coming at her because she's not doing things with her locks that they want her to do, and she's calling herself a freeformer. Um, so I think she apologized and she started over and started locking her hair from a afro. Um, and that's the way a lot of freeformers start locking their hairs from a normal afro, and they just wash it and stuff. But I started with comb coils, so that might not make me a freeformer because I started with comb coils. As you can see in my 1 month, even though that's a terrible video and I don't recommend that video to anyone. So I don't think that I'm on the same level as freeformers. I feel like they have a much more organic journey, or a more organic regimen that they do that I do not do. Even though I don't retwist my hair, I separate, and I mean, it's still like, I guess someone could look at my locks and mistake me for being completely freeform. But you know, there's people out there with very, very neat looking locks, and they're actually freeform. And they started just straight freeforming, no separating, no retwisting, anything, and they have very neat looking locks, and they get questions like, "Are you really freeform? And are you this and are you that?" And I kind of feel like sometimes if you even look at my videos, I don't even have semi-freeform in the title, even though I do want to put it there because I want people who are interested and maybe they don't know a whole lot about the journey and they want to look at someone's locks who is semi-freeform, so maybe they can just decide for themselves if that's something that they want to do. But I don't want to put it in there because I kind of feel like it's not really important. I mean, with the current state of everything, with locks being legally banned, I feel like whether you are freeform or whether you are manicure, like, it does not matter. I mean, besides kind of giving people an idea of what you do to your hair, you don't need to categorize yourself or label yourself, because there's only 3 categories. There's no like quarter freeform or something. Like, there's only 3 categories, and they're not very defined, and everyone has a different definition. So when I do read semi-freeform on anyone's videos or in anyone's posts, when they're describing themselves, I do take that with a grain of salt because their regimen might be very different from mine, but they still are semi-freeform. So I thought I would just make a video about that. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit in the comments and we can have a little discussion. What do you call your locks? Are you manicured, or are you semi-freeform, or are you freeform? And what do you think semi-freeform means? Because there's a lot of kind of discourse around it. So comment below, or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.